Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gabby and I do loads of cleaning content. Today we are going to be deep cleaning, detailing the interior of my Trailblazer. It is a mess. Oh my gosh, this spot is truly disgusting. Have no idea what it is. Been dealing with that stain coming back for years, so there must be some sort of a leak or something. But today is a big day. This actually, in all honesty, it took me, I don't know, 5 or 6 days to complete this. You will see approximately 5 outfit changes, so at least 5 different days I worked on this. It was a beast. I got interested in detailing interiors because I started watching channels like Stauffer's Garage and the Detail Geek. They are freaking professionals at detailing the interiors of cars. And so I took, I don't know, probably a few months gathering different materials I'd need to detail my car, and I was finally ready to do the task. So sit back and relax while you watch me deep clean this freaking mess. Okay, so I'm starting out by just emptying my car. It wasn't too terribly bad, but there was definitely a bit of trash lying around. I had to reach under both of the seats and grab all that random crap that had slid under there. I'd say the worst part was probably this front seat area because that's where I throw all my trash while I'm driving. Whoops. Anyway, we got started with the cleaning part in the trunk. Sorry for the crazy lighting. This is my first attempt of filming a detail video, so I wasn't totally aware of the bad lighting from time to time, but if I ever do this again, I will try and do better, I promise. So I'm starting with my soapy water mixture. I think the brand was called Totally Awesome or something like that. Every product that I use in here I will list down below, so if you're looking for anything you see on here that looks cool or you want to try, I'll link down below. That includes my little extractor that I'm using right now and my drill brushes and all that kind of stuff. I'll link it all down below so you can test it out for yourself. I kind of went overboard with the cleaning and extracting on this one just because I have never ever detailed my car. The backs of the seats probably did not need extracting, but I wanted to hit every single carpeted surface just this one time because this is a 2005 Trailblazer. I got it in 2013, January 2013, so I've had it for a little while, and I have never ever done this deep of a detailing before. This is definitely the first time my entire car has been washed before, so I just wanted to make sure I got all the surfaces, all the little nooks and crannies my first time through. One thing I was not prepared for when I had been watching all of these interior detail videos was how physical and labor intensive this kind of a job is. My wrists were so sore because of using the extractor over and over and over again. This is not a job that even if I would have tried, I don't think I would have been able to do this in one day just because of how physical it is. Like, it doesn't seem so bad, but truly, once you get going, you get exhausted very, very quickly. So I decided to go ahead and open up that little cubby hole in my trunk, and this is what I found. I pulled out my jumper cables and they had been rusting all over my carpet. I was so annoyed. Oh God, so mad when I saw this. So I did my best to extract out that rust, but it had actually destroyed the carpet. So if you have your jumper cables just lying somewhere on carpet, I would highly recommend that you get a bag for those, because you would hate to damage your car and have these ugly little rust spots in your trunk. Next, I moved into the back seat area. This is the area under the seats, because you know how the seats fold up and down for that larger trunk space. This is under those back seats, so I went ahead and vacuumed all the little crumbs out from under there, and then proceeded with the carpet solution and drill brushing and extraction. Another thing that I noticed about the learning curve of detailing is how much solution you need to actually clean something. The amount of spray that I used in this section of the car probably wasn't enough. Knowing what I know now, this was probably too light of an amount to really clean the chairs and the carpet, but this is that under section, so not a big deal. It wasn't really dirty to begin with, so not too much of a problem on the carpets, but on the seats, I definitely could have gone heavier with the soapy solution to extract more of the dirt and grime, but lucky for me, I don't typically have a lot of passengers in the back seat, so they probably weren't that bad anyway. So something to note if you are planning to do this yourself. You will see when I move to the front seat how much solution I actually use, and I would probably go more that direction with it. Alrighty, we're officially moving on to the most disgusting section of my car. That nasty major stain. I originally wanted to pull out all of the seats and the center console to be able to clean absolutely everywhere in this car. Unfortunately, I do not have a torque wrench, so I didn't have the ability to remove the seats safely and reinstall them. So I went ahead and just cleaned around everything, which unfortunately meant that I couldn't get under that center console to see why the stain keeps coming back. So I did the best I could. This took so many rounds of extraction and drill brushing and soap. This is just like the first few rounds of me trying. I did at least 5 more off camera the next day. It was crazy. The dirt just kept coming up. I don't know if you can see how muddy that extraction is, but it was so gross. I had neglected the stain for years. I remember when I first got the car, within the first year, it started dripping down, and I had gotten some like carpet cleaner and just wiped it off by hand or whatever, but since then, that one time I cleaned it years and years ago, I just kind of let it go, and it got gross. Really, really gross. Alrighty, we are on to a new day again. I wanted to go ahead and start with my floor mats. I have this, what is it? It's an attachment for a hose that basically is like a pressure washer, but just like a cheaper version you can attach to a hose. And I really wanted to try that out on the floor mats. So I went ahead, did all the soaping and stuff, and tried to attach it to the hose that is out by my apartment complex. They have like a little car wash port. Anyway, as you can see, it's dripping like crazy because it wouldn't fully attach to the hose. So I don't know if that is because the hose was messed up or because the attachment is all janky. So I can't really review the product and say if it was good or bad because it wouldn't fully attach. So I'll keep you updated on that if I do indeed try to use it again. Later on, you'll see how I do the rest of the floor mats. I end up using my uncle's actual pressure washer, which I am obsessed with. If I ever have the money, I will be getting myself an actual pressure washer because I could see so many uses for that. So at this point in our detailing journey, I start working on the plastic in my car, and I had no idea how grimy and disgusting it had gotten. I understand that I had literally never cleaned them before, but I never thought they'd actually be coated in a layer of like dirty grime. It wasn't like a kind of grime that you could just wipe off or dust. I had to go after it with these detail brushes. It was crazy. I was truly shocked at how gross my car actually was. I will have these detail brushes linked in my products used down below, but I do not recommend them. I'm honestly just putting the link there to recommend that you don't get these. They shed everywhere. This entire process, little black hairs were falling out all over the place and getting stuck in the crevices of my car, and then I had to pick them out. I am not a fan. I would definitely try a different brand if I were you, but do whatever you want to do. A product I would highly, highly recommend, though, is the Chemical Guys Silk and Shine. That's the stuff you spray on after you clean your plastic. Like, it's basically, I don't know how to describe it. It makes your plastic in your car look brand spanking new. It is so crazy. I could not believe how awesome my car looked after I put that stuff on. It was crazy. I drug my boyfriend down after this was all said and done. I was like, you just have to see how crazy this looks. It was literally like night and day. That stuff, if you were going to do anything to your car, I would say clean off all the plastic and spray this Chemical Guys Silk and Shine stuff on it. So great. So amazing. Highly recommend. Another fun little tip I learned from the detailing channels I watch is to roll down your window and clean that top edge first. I never really thought about it before, but it's always stuck up in the top seal of your car, so it really never gets cleaned unless you roll down your window to clean it. Another tip I have for you, and this might just be personal opinion or personal preference, but I would recommend doing all of your carpet extractions before you do any of the plastic in the car. I noticed that I did a couple sections of carpet up in the front after I did the door panels, and the cleaner sprayed everywhere all over my just freshly cleaned doors, and I had to redo everything all over again or wipe it all back down again. It was very frustrating, so don't get yourself into a little pickle there. Definitely try doing all of the carpet first, just so that the drill brush spraying doesn't splash all over the place. Another thing I would highly recommend is having different colored towels for different tasks. It really helps keep things straight when you're going through cleaning a bunch of stuff. For example, I was using the yellow towels for the initial wipe down clean, and then I would use the blue towel for the Chemical Guys Silk and Shine coating, just so that when I went to grab a towel, I wasn't grabbing the wrong one or re-wiping dirt back on a clean area. It just really helps keep things clear. If I was in a perfect detailing world, I would have 2 extra colors. I was having a hard time keeping the window towels separate from the plastic towels. I kept having to sniff them to smell what was actually on them because I used the yellow towels for the initial wipe down of the windows and then used a blue towel to make sure they were streak free. And so if I was just throwing them back down on the seat when I wasn't using them, I would lose track of what was what. So in a perfect world, I would recommend 4 different colors to keep your areas straight, but honestly, use whatever method works best for you. I just really noticed this color differentiation really helped me out. Another recommendation I would make is to vacuum everything before you do anything else, because I tried to clean this trim area before I vacuumed and I kept getting little crusty fluffies in my brush from the carpet. So definitely recommend vacuuming first. Also, I would like to mention how long this procedure takes. Now, I know this was my first go around, so it probably took a little longer just because there's a learning curve and a few hiccups along the way, but this took me at least 15 to 20 hours of straight work. It was absolutely outrageous. It was a lot of work, so as easy and wonderful as these videos make it seem, you are in for a lot of work if you go after this yourself. So go in just expecting many, many hours to invest in a project like this. Okay, I have a few bits of information about carpet cleaning and extraction that I learned along the way that were kind of, I don't know, bothersome. So the first thing is that when you are told to keep extracting until the water runs clear, that could not be more true. At first, I was pulling the extractor too fast and like giving up before all the soap was out. Well, your carpet ends up drying a little crusty because you didn't get all of the soap out. So definitely go super slow with your extractor. Definitely soak it with water. Also, let me just interject. I only put hot water in the extractor. There's no soap or anything because I already sprayed that on initially. So I'm literally just rinsing the carpet and keep rinsing it until it runs clear and there's no soap bubbles pulling up, because your carpet will dry a little funky if you don't fully extract the soap. Secondly, is that you could do an extraction and your carpet can look perfectly clean and wonderful, and then you come back an hour later and it's dirty again. This happened to me in pretty much every section of carpet I cleaned. Turns out I kind of have a rusty car under all of the carpet. So basically what would happen is I would extract it, it would look clean, and then the wet fibers of the carpet would slowly soak up the rust from underneath it and get dirty again. This happened with my carpet. It happened in a couple spots on my chairs where there was like a metal bar or something. So what I ended up having to do was spot treat as it dried. So basically every half hour or so I would check all the carpets and seats again, and I would go with just a dry microfiber towel and just kind of press on those areas, and then the dirty spot would be gone again. But I had to keep watching them because the fibers would just keep soaking it up to the surface, so I had to just monitor that as it dried. We have finally entered the last phase of extraction. At this point, I am kind of over it, but I am powering through. I definitely had hit my stride at this point. I felt comfortable with my extractor. I felt comfortable with the drill brush and how much soap to use. You definitely get a flow after you do it for long enough. So don't get discouraged in the beginning if things aren't really working out. I know for me, I kept not having all of the things, all my tools that I needed, all of the products that I needed, so I kept getting frustrated because I kept getting hung up and delayed, but I promise once you get through all those little hiccups, things start to pick up speed and you hit your stride for sure. Ooh, something I almost forgot to mention about extraction. So I already mentioned to go through with the extractor a bunch of times till the water runs clear. So after it runs clear, then you want to do an additional pass or two without spraying any of the water through the extractor. Just use the vacuum portion and make sure you suck up as much water as possible so that your fabrics dry faster. This is especially huge for the seats because they have a lot of foam underneath them, so you want to make sure you push down really hard to compress the foam and make sure you suck out as much water as possible. And we are on to our final step, which is the floor mats. As you can see, that one on the left is super clean. That was the one I did earlier in the video. I just wanted to give you guys a comparison of what clean actually looks like. So I got started on these last ones, and this is the part where I got to use my uncle's pressure washer. It was so much fun. I don't know, if you guys have never used a pressure washer before, definitely give it a go. That thing is super powerful and so much fun. Alrighty guys, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me detail my car. I'm sure I did some things wrong, so don't give me too hard of a time in the comments, but I did my best. I'd say it turned out pretty good for a first go around. If you guys have any tips or tricks on how to accomplish some of these tasks more quickly or more strategically, whatever you think, just let me know. But that is all I have for you guys. Enjoy these before and after pictures. I think the car turned out so magnificently. I truly had no idea how disgusting my car was until I started compiling these before and after pictures. So I'm so glad I pushed through and got this done. If you guys are new to my channel, subscribe. Like I said earlier, I do loads of cleaning content, so I would love to have you join my channel. Alrighty guys, I will see you next time. Bye!